Hello, mate. You all right?
Yeah, not bad. Taking a little break from Fright Fest to record this episode. But yeah, how you doing? You good?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Nothing really bad happened to me this week, which is unusual. I normally got something to moan about, haven't I, at the beginning
Bit of a
beginning of
bonus,
these
yeah.
things?
Bit of a bonus. Normally something's going on, but that's good. We can't complain about that, can we?
No, it's been all right. It's been okay.
Yeah, it has, man. It has. So yeah, I tell you how we're going to kick this off. We're going to kick this off with a review of Welcome to Blumhouse because I was behind. I hadn't watched any of them. I have now watched them all.
You've
And
overtaken me, haven't
I've
you?
overtaken you because you're one behind. And what's quite funny is, if I'm right, the one you're behind on is actually my favourite of the whole series. So you, in my eyes, you've left the best to last. So what is the one you haven't seen as of yet?
Nocturne.
Nocturne. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Nocturne for me is, I'm a real sucker for that stuff. I said when we previewed it that it could potentially be my favourite purely because the producers are the producers of a film called Whiplash, which Whiplash are a far superior film. I'm not saying this is as good as Whiplash. Whiplash is a once in a million film. That film is absolutely incredible. But this has Nocturne has real Black Swan vibes.
Oh
Real,
yeah.
like and I just love that pursuit of perfection, that pursuit of like being the best at something. And I think there is like genuine horror that can come out of that. So yeah, I think you're gonna love it. I think you're really gonna like it. But let's talk about the other three. So on the last episode, you reviewed
Black
The Lie
Box.
and
Yeah.
Black Box. So The Lie was the first one I watched out of the four of them, and yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was okay. I thought it was. All of these are flawed, right? I think I think what I would say is there's a reason. I mean, nothing's going in cinemas at the minute, right? But it was always planned these were going to be Amazon films. I think
Yes.
there's a reason for that. I think they are missing a little something compared to what Blumhouse normally puts in cinemas. Not everything they put in cinemas works, but I do think all four of these films are flawed in some way.
They
You don't.
haven't. They haven't got the first thing I noticed. They haven't got the big bang of
Yes.
a
Yes.
normal. Blumhouse films are normally
Yes.
visually,
They're
very.
missing a bit of a shine, aren't they? There's a little bit of a shine that's missing. And yeah, why I like The Lie, there was some things that were a little bit up and down. I tell you what is interesting about all of these films. I think there's a really, really interesting, very simple story in all of them. And apart
Yes.
from Nocturne, which I think kind of sticks there, the other three, I think make it way too complicated. Way too complicated, especially Black Box, which we'll get onto in a minute. But yeah, The Lie, I did like it. It's not a perfect film by any stretch of the imagination, but I did like it.
There
That
was
brings
nothing. There
me.
was nothing surprising in it, was it?
No.
I mean, you could. uh, I mean, I think I said this last time, but I kind of guessed pretty early on, what was going to happen. I did think to myself, I wonder if this is going to happen, and then probably just over halfway, I thought, yeah,
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen.
that's where we're at. That's where we're at. So let's talk Black Box. I agree with you. I think out there, I know you haven't seen all four, but out all four, this was the lesser for me.
Yeah, and I got. I mean, I know you feel the same. I just want to reiterate. I don't think any of these are bad films. I think they're all
No,
worth a
no.
watch.
I think they're all
Um,
definitely worth watching. And I think Nocturne, definitely, I could see myself going back and watching.
oh,
Definitely.
really?
Yeah. Yeah, I really could. I think there's just something in it I liked. And I don't know. I don't think it's going to speak to everyone, but for me, there's just something I really liked about it. And the same actually with Evil Eye. There was
Yeah.
Evil Eye again was flawed, and there was some decisions that made that I don't think really made sense. I think the screenplay could have been cleaned up a bit, but I really liked living in that world. I felt like I was getting a story told by filmmakers and actors that it should be told by, that you don't really see those type of films come along too often. It was, I love the way they took the superstitions of Indian culture and told a story around it. I thought it was very unique, and that's probably what I'll say for a lot of these films. Is I think they've done that right.
So would you say Nocturne and Evil Eye were for you, the two strongest out of the four?
I see. I would say yes, but I think Evil Eye kind of fell down at the end for me a little bit. It kind of just lost its way.
But let's talk about Black Box first.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
Briefly, because I know I probably ran on a bit about it last
Yeah.
time. But what did you enjoy about that and the lie?
So with the lie, I like the setup. I like the premise of the lie. Are we going to do spoilers?
Try not to, but it might
Right.
slip out.
Okay. Okay. Right. I'll try not to. I'll try not to. Right. Okay. All I'll say is the way I thought there was a really interesting story in the lie about a family genuinely falling apart
Mm,
and making mistake after mistake, lying time after time because
yes.
they were trying to protect their daughter.
Yeah.
And in watching the trailers, I think I might have said this in our preview, I thought it was going to go, and maybe this is my own problem, right? We all have this these days, is we kind of have our own expectations that we put on stuff. And I try not to let that disappoint the outcome of the film, but sometimes I feel like actually maybe that would have been better. I thought it was going to go a little bit the way of there is something wrong with the daughter.
Mm.
She is, and it kind of starts playing out that way, but then they kind of play a trump card at the end. And
They did give
well,
that vibe that she
yeah,
was not quite right, didn't they?
yeah, and I would have
Um,
liked to have seen it. I would have liked to have seen that. Like, what do you like? Because that's something very real in the world today, right? You have
mm,
some kids that do horrible things, but they're still someone's kid. Like you
yes.
would still like you see it all the time, like in documentaries where kids go to prison and stuff like that. The people that are there for them day after day are their parents. So their parents never give up on them. They can acknowledge what they've done, but they still love them. But if that kid wasn't caught in the initial act, how far would you go to protect that kid? And in all honesty, I don't think anyone can say that until they were put in that
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
And like I was saying about some recent documentaries on Netflix, there are people in this world that commit horrible crimes and they come up with these incredible lies and then they lie again and they lie again and they just dig this hole. I thought it was going to go that way. It turned out a little bit different. So yeah, I didn't not like it. I did enjoy it while I was watching it, but I do feel like they could have done a little bit more with it. I would have liked it to have been a really dark thriller. And I think
Mm,
they kind of went. I think they were kind of, and I think this were a lot of these films. They weren't really sure what they were making. So I feel like in The Lie, they didn't know if they were making a teen horror film or a David Fincher thriller. You
I
know.
suppose that's interesting actually, because for all four, none of them. I'd be hard pushed to call any of them horror films. Actually,
I agree. I agree.
I think certainly there was nothing scary in any of them. Uh, Black Box is trailers give the impression it's going to be quite scary. It's not.
In a
It's
way,
not at
Black
all.
Box is the most horror. It's
Yes,
like it's
yeah, it
sci-fi
is.
horror
It is. I
of them
think
all.
yeah, it's
I'd
the most
say,
traditionally
yeah,
horror.
definitely.
Obviously, I haven't seen Nocturne. I think Evil Eye also had that kind of
Yeah,
vibe as well.
yeah,
Yeah, none of them. They all fall flat so far for me on the scares.
yeah,
I have to say.
yeah. I agree. And then moving on to Black Box, I feel like it was a little. It weren't really sure where to do. Was it
Mm,
horror? And also, this ain't a spoiler because this is in the trailer. But the creature in his mind, let's say, right,
yep.
the straight J horror, cracking of the bones every time it moves.
How many times have we seen it?
I'm just kind of a bit done with it now. You
Yeah.
know, I from looking at reviews afterwards, that was the most common complaint I saw, and
Even
it just
Brave Wyatt
felt
doesn't do it anymore.
no, exactly. It just felt unnecessary as well, though.
It was, yeah. It could have been anything. They could have done
Yeah,
literally anything, and they chose quite a cliche, overused.
yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong. That in films like Reagan in The Exorcist, when she's walking down the stairs backwards like that, it can be very effective. But we've seen
yeah.
it
But
so
how many
many
times
times.
did you seen it? When
Exactly.
exactly,
We've seen it so many times.
it's
If you're going
just a
to do it
go-to,
again,
isn't
then
it? Yeah,
it better be damn scary. And it's just like,
yeah. It
come
just
on, you could
didn't.
have done anything.
That just didn't work for me. And then I don't mind the reveal in Black Box, but I don't know. There was just something that just didn't land for me.
Yeah, I mean, I quite liked that twist because I completely wouldn't have guessed that at all.
Yeah,
I just it really kind of caught me by surprise,
yeah, yeah.
which I liked, but it just become I felt very confused after that point.
Yeah, I feel like there was a lot of ideas there and they didn't really work out how they were going to bring them all together, and then they just kind of went and made the film. I feel like no one was questioning the choices that were being, like, you read the screenplay and I don't feel like anyone's going, well, that doesn't really make sense, that doesn't really, and I always find that strange when you get these big studio films and
Yeah.
people will not question them, and I do find that quite weird. That is quite strange. So let's talk about the ones we haven't spoke about. So Evil Eye, we've both seen that. So what did you think of
I
it?
really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed seeing a world I'm not used to seeing
Yes.
in everything in
Yes.
India. I love the dad. I thought he was just a very, very slight bit of comic relief in it at times.
Yeah, I agree.
He was very endearing.
Much needed as well. I don't think it was
It
out of
was,
place.
yeah, it was. I thought some of the dialogue and decisions from the young lady who plays the lead,
Yeah.
or I suppose the mum could be the lead as well.
Yeah.
I thought the way she treated her mum was very odd. Even when she found out about her mum's past, it was still very, very, I thought, odd to treat her like that. I thought I was expecting something a bit more from the reveal. I was thinking it was going to be a bit darker than that, and when it's revealed to you, it's something that's obviously quite supernatural. However, it was again dealt with quite matter of factly, like, oh, this
Yeah.
is quite normal from everyone involved. And then finally, and I'm being really harsh here because I did enjoy it, but I thought the baby at the end was a slap in the face that was completely unnecessary.
Oh, it was unnecessary. That was, I feel
We
like that
get
was
what
a
you're trying
reshoot.
to say. You
Yeah,
don't
that was
need to
like
spell out for that.
that stupid ending.
Yeah,
I hate when they do that in like paranormal films or something, when it ends with something jumping at the screen. And I feel like
yeah.
that was a bit of this. It was like, okay, we
It's all
need,
over, or is
yeah,
it?
yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, come on.
We
We
could have,
we didn't need that.
you could have left that to us. And what I did laugh though, that baby, he opened his eyes. You literally looked like you're saying, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah,
This
yeah.
kid's looking at the camera. It just made me chuckle. But I can hear myself, and I know I sound harsh, but I did enjoy it. I did enjoy the film, probably more than the other two.
Yeah, okay. That's interesting. I see, again, for me, this didn't know where to be, because I
Mm,
feel like I was really, really enjoying it up until the reveal,
yeah, me too.
because I really like the psychological, it was the contrast between the mum and the daughter, right? It was the mum who was very spiritual and felt like that completely controlled her life, and believed in the superstitions that she grew up with. And then you very much had the daughter who was of a new age, a new world, who didn't believe in that stuff. And I thought that made for a very, very interesting dynamic, and
It was, yeah,
also a great character study of how the mum especially like deals with the trauma of stuff she went through. And I don't think you really needed the twist, if I'm honest. I don't feel like it just did. And then the problem with it was you've spent so long focusing on the psychological element of it
mm,
all, that when the twist does come, and then the mum and daughter kind of, have to have the team up towards the end, the daughter, like, if you just think about her character arc, she just flips.
yes.
Like, literally up until that scene, she doesn't believe a word of this. And
And
then
then
she
all of a
just, and to
sudden,
me, that was just like, no, that's what?
yeah. But to believe in something so supernatural as well,
Like, so
it's
quickly.
yeah.
Yeah, that just didn't really play with me. And it wasn't like it was horrible and it completely ruined the film. I don't think it did. I'm not saying that. But
That's that's very interesting that you said about the twist not needing it. I think you're right, and I think it would be a far stronger film if they had just had the mum's paranoia
yeah, yeah.
continuing to get worse and worse and worse until it has disastrous effects on everyone
Or
involved.
you
That would have
do,
been
or you
great.
go the other way, where you completely play that twist up, but you don't really leave the question of if the twist is coming or not. You simply play it up to, this is what it is. We're in the know, the mother's in the know, but it's the daughter
Mm,
we're now because I don't think it's a bad thing for the audience to be in the know. Actually, I think it can go the other way. When the audience is not in the know, sometimes you can really fall flat on that. And I kind of think that's what they did with this. But I think if we were in the know of who this guy was, we'd be, it'd be like that slasher type thing where you're screaming at the screen, for the final girl to survive. Because you're like, oh, don't do that, don't do this, don't. But I just feel like they weren't really sure where they were going with it, and it just kind of fell a little bit flat.
Well,
for me.
when they reveal the twist, I don't know, sort of 3/4 of the way through or whatever it is,
It's quite
that
early, actually,
that
isn't it?
phone call. Why did he do that?
Right?
Why
Yeah, I know.
why make that phone call?
Yeah, I
It
know.
just didn't make sense. I thought that was really strange decision. It just
Well,
completely unbelievable. I thought.
also the setup of it, right? Like you're in filmland, some stuff is pure coincidence, right? Some stuff happens because your character will just stumble across something, but that should never be. Your character should never stumble across the thing that gets your story going, right? Your turning point in your screenplay that kicks off your whole film should never be an accident. It should never be a coincidence. And I feel like that's what you get with this, because
Mm,
he literally explains it. Like, it was just purely random that he was in that coffee shop
that's right. Yeah.
the day shoot. So there's just so much coincidence for that to happen. And when you think about it, the whole thing falls apart, right? Like,
Mm.
what is the chances that this story starts 30 years prior in India, then the daughter of the original victim moves to America? Of all the places she moves to, this, the
Yeah.
villain of the piece ends up not only in exactly the same place halfway across the world, but in exactly the same coffee shop. Like, there's
Yeah.
just too much
Yeah.
coincidence there. You need a better setup. And that's why I was saying I don't think they knew where they were going with it, because that setup is absolutely fine if you're playing out the paranoia of the mother and you're playing
Mm.
out her fears, because then that does make sense, because then there is no reason why this guy is who he is, right? But
Hmm.
as soon as you reveal the twist, to me, you're then going back and going, or I was anyway, I was going, well, hold on, but that doesn't make sense. Why, like, wouldn't he? Yeah, I don't know. It just, yeah, it left too many questions. The twist gave me more questions than answers, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean. It's kind of something that has no end now, doesn't it?
Right, exactly. Yeah, it just didn't fall into place for me. But I know I've kind of gone off on a bit of a rant there, but I do want to say it's actually it's not a bad film. I just feel like some of the decisions they made could have gone a little better. But to be fair, we say this about everything. So to round up this Blumhouse, welcome to Blumhouse series. You haven't seen it yet, so we're not going to get into it too much. We will pick it up next week once you've seen it.
I will
But
watch it for
Nocturne,
next week.
yeah, this was my favorite. Again, it just speaks to me. I just like stories
I'm
like this.
quite
I like,
excited now because I
yeah,
thought actually I'm really optimistic for it because I thought based on the trailers I thought that looked the weakest to me
yeah,
and I thought Black Box looked the best and I'm hoping my view is going to be completely switched because
yeah.
I thought so far Black Box has been the weakest of the ones I've seen. So I'm hopeful that I'm going to be wrong about this other one as well.
Yeah, it's good, man. It's good. It's not again, it's not really horror. It's more of a thriller. But that's fine. I've got nothing wrong with that. Go in with that mindset.
Awesome.
Really good. I quite like the cast out of this. I think of all the young cast throughout these films, I think this has the best, yeah, young cast. I think they do really, really well with what they've got. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Let's see what you think next week.
Great.
So on that note, let's move on to something that I don't think is in question. I haven't seen anyone say anything bad about this apart from that stupid Guardian writer who had no idea what she was talking about. But The Haunting of Bly Manor.
What? what did they say?
Oh, did you not see it? There was like a
No.
huge thing over it. Like before it even dropped, before the series even dropped, when the media embargo lifted, yeah, the
Mm,
Guardian released a review, like a 2-star review of the series, and but it was ridiculous because the writer opens up her piece by saying that she openly admits she's not a horror fan. She don't like horror films. And then she
fuck.
puts in this really weird line where she says she doesn't like horror films. She doesn't horror's just not for her, but she quite likes this, which means that they must have done something wrong because she doesn't like horror.
She also
It's
doesn't like
such a
Netflix.
strange review. And also, why the fuck are the Guardian employing people that hate horror to review horror? Like, you're already starting at a disadvantage, right?
Mm.
Crazy. Like, yeah, that blew up. That
I
was,
mean, I'm suspicious though, because in a sea of positive reviews, the
yeah.
one that stands out is going to be the one that disagrees, and I would
Well,
gravitate to that, and I would read it.
here's the other thing. So there has been, I don't know, there's probably thousands of reviews, right? There's probably
Mhm.
absolutely thousands of reviews out there of this. This is the only review I saw shared everywhere. This review probably got more clicks than any other review of Blind Manor. So if you're just talking about money from like ad revenue
Yeah,
based on clicks, man, come on, maybe that's what they're
it
doing.
and it doesn't particularly even hurt
It doesn't
Blind Man.
hurt. It does. Do you know what? It actually, again, in terms of rallying people up and then people coming out and saying how much they love it and how stupid this writer was and stuff like that,
Mhm.
actually, it probably had the complete opposite effect where everyone else is coming out going, no, she's wrong. This is great. Go and watch it.
Mm.
So actually, it probably done more for the series than not. I can imagine there's a lot of people that then tuned in for this on opening weekend because they just wanted to see what she was on about. So
So
yeah,
so how far in it are you?
oh, I'm done, mate. I've finished it.
You've watched it all.
Yeah, I've watched it all. I'm
I'm
done.
I'm going on I'm going on my I'm savouring it again.
A
Um,
night. I done. What did we do? There's 9 episodes, isn't there? I think we done about 2 a night from like opening when it went on. So yeah, I think it was about 2 a night. If it was me, I would have done it in a day. I would have not slept. I would have done the whole thing. But my girlfriend, a bit like you, she doesn't really like to binge stuff. So yeah, we done like 2 a night. But yeah, man, done.
I mean, I absolutely love it. I'm only 3 or 4 episodes in.
Oh,
Um,
good. Isn't it?
and what I like is, so first off, I didn't know that this was going to be a trilogy of the Haunting series
Right.
from
Yeah.
the same people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, the Haunting of Hill House, the first one. There's a kind of American Horror Story vibe because they've reused quite a few
Mhm.
of the same actors throughout it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So far, I wouldn't say I'm enjoying it more than The Haunting of Hill House because I really like that as well. But I find the whole tone of it very different.
Oh,
It,
it's completely different. Yeah.
Haunting of Hill House was very in your face jump scares, quite horrific in places.
Yes. Yes.
Whereas this is a good old fashioned English ghost story.
Yes.
And I don't think you can fault that. It's given you, an updated version of what you expect. It also seems to follow the turn of the screw, the novel, a lot more closely than the Haunting of Hill House did to the respective
Yeah.
novel
Have
there.
you
Which
read so you've read the novel?
I've read both of them, yeah. And
Right. Okay. So I've never
Haunting of
read.
Hill House was really only in name only. There was a couple of little nods to it, but it wasn't.
Well, they
It wasn't
completely
really the same
changed
thing.
up because in the book they're not siblings, are they?
No, no,
They're just
it was
random people that are brought
yeah.
together, right? Yeah.
This is very close.
This is very
The
close. Yeah.
people, even down to the uncle who doesn't want anything to do with them
Yeah.
really. It's all the people. It's same names, very similar story. So I just find it completely unmissable. I'm looking forward to seeing it. And truth be told, the reason why I didn't watch Nocturne is because I wanted to watch another episode of
Oh yeah. Man, I'm with
uh,
you. I'm with you.
of this. I just
Yeah. This
it's one
is
of those
this is
things that I
really good.
really want to take it slowly. I don't want to miss anything.
This is
Um,
really, really good.
I
I'd
think it's
I'd
great.
be
It's
very
great.
interested. I've never read the book, right?
Mm.
I've never read the book. I know of the previous films that have been made of it. You've got a classic horror film called The Innocents, which is based on the novel, and then
Yep.
this year they made another film called The Turning,
Yep.
which I haven't seen. I can't even really remember The Innocents. I saw it so long ago. Yeah, I would be interested to talk to you. I mean, say it now if you want, but I mean, it might be a bit of a spoiler, but how the book ends, because I feel like there's like two endings to this show. So like I won't get into them because, maybe through the book, or maybe you
Mm.
don't.
Mm.
But I do feel like there's two endings. And I feel like we kind of get almost two bonus episodes out of this, or
It's
maybe
it's
one bonus episode.
it's been a long time since I've read it. I'd have to
Yeah,
make a call
go
on
back.
that once I've seen it. It's more like as I'm watching it, it's bringing back the scenes from the book. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
Um,
yes.
but I find, that the people in it are just fantastic. I think
Oh,
they're
they're
great.
absolutely crazy.
The kids, the
Oh
two
man,
kids.
right. So
Oh,
let's touch on it for a minute. So one of the early, like before, like I was done with it or anything. One of the early things I kept seeing, and a couple of people where my girlfriend worked were saying it as well, because they were a little bit further along than us.
mm.
They were saying how annoying the kids were, and I was like, like no way, like they were like a little bit annoying, but only when they need to be. I
Yeah,
think the absolute standout of this whole series is Flora.
yeah.
I like towards the end, the kids get a little bit less to do.
She's so young as well.
It just falls off for me. Like once the kids are taken out of it, I'm not as interested in, like, it's good, and it is a great ending. Like, it's a really nice ending. For me, it feels like it's part of a completely different story. That's why I'd be interested in having seen the book. But the kids, man, Flora is incredible. There's so many times where she would deliver lines, or she'd be part of a back and forth with one of the adult actors,
Mm.
and I'd be like, how at her age does she have the
And
understanding
what is she, about eight,
for
9, maybe at a
performance?
push?
Something like that. I mean, man, it is incredible. Like her her delivery on that, the whole like perfectly splendid.
Yeah,
That
and
will
I
stick with
get
me
that
for
as
like ever.
rubbing people up the wrong way. I get that it's very saccharine, sickly, um, but that's because she's a young, well brought up English child, and I think that's intentionally done to play off, the very negative. Because when she first goes to Bly Manor, it's it's stated very clearly that she has no ill feeling as well. It
Yeah,
seems like a very happy
yeah,
home. The kids seem like very happy, healthy children. Obviously, Miles is quite odd from the start, but I mean, I think they're both great.
yeah. I think Miles is he's a really good character, and he plays
I
his
find
part.
him quite chilling at times.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
what, 10? I
Same,
don't know.
same. Again, like he's great. Like he is really good. But Flora for me is just such a well-rounded character. She is such a great character.
Who
And
stands out for you in the adults?
um probably Jamie the gardener.
Yeah, she's
I
good.
quite like her. I think she's really good. Or Owen the cook.
See, I quite like Hannah.
Oh,
The
Hannah's great as well. Yeah,
I don't know
Hannah's
what
really
I'd
good.
call her. She's not really a cleaner, is she? What is
She's more like
house
just a
manager?
housekeeper.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's more like just a housekeeper.
I find, and I know her from my daughter watches this program over and over and over. It's a joint, funnily enough, it's a joint English American production. It's a kids thing, about this island with horse riding. There's like two rival stables on there, and she plays the mayor of the island,
Oh,
and
interesting.
she's a villain in that. So I see that's the only other thing I've seen her in, and it's so interesting for me to see her acting chops in a completely different role.
Wow.
I think she's great. I think she's really, really. I'm really keen to kind of seek out what else she's done.
But yeah,
Mind you, I have to say that the English accents in this make me feel like I just can't speak properly at all. I've
yeah, I know what you mean.
never heard anyone speak as well as they all do.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. But yeah, man. Like really, I to be honest with you, I don't think there's a bad I don't think there's a bad performance in all of it. I really like Henry Thomas as the uncle. I think
Yeah,
he's really good.
he's brilliant.
Yeah, they're all great. The girl that
I
plays Danny is great.
the thing that really gets me is it's scary without really ever showing you too much. I do genuinely find it. I watched the first episode in the middle of the day when I was on my own, and it gave me a bit of a chill as I was watching it, and I loved that. Like we watched one last night, and you just get a little bit of a when you turn it off and switch the lights off,
Yeah,
and that's perfect for me. That's the right level for any kind of horror for me. And yeah, I think they've pitched it completely perfectly. I
yeah,
think it's
I agree.
brilliant.
The last thing I'll leave on Blind Manor before we move on, and you're gonna love this because you've got young kids, is the girl that plays Flora is also the voice of Peppa Pig.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's in like when I found that out, I was like, okay, interesting. But I
And
mean, man,
you can
she's
start to hear it as well, can't you?
if she stays on the straight and narrow, man, like she has people that look after her, what an
Yeah,
actress she's gonna be.
yeah.
Like in the next few years, man, it's just that understanding. It's that understanding of her character is just so well rounded. Like I said, you do have moments where she's just a kid and she's this annoying little kid that keeps saying perfectly splendid, but then there's just these really like heartbreaking looks from her. And also, like, I know a lot of that is down to the direction as well. Like Mike Flanagan, the director, is he pulls performances out of people you wouldn't believe, and yeah, he's done it again, man.
I
Like
liked
incredible film
there's
series. Sorry.
Miles when they're doing the play in the kind of entrance hall
Oh
of
yes, yeah,
Rye Manor, and he just sort of snaps and starts going off on one about puppets and things. I loved that scene.
yes, yeah.
And
That's it
doesn't
again. No, like for a
doesn't the
kid,
phone ring on? And Owen says something like, "Oh, thank
yeah,
Christ for Peter
yeah,
Quint phoning."
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's good, man. I like him. I like that guy. He's in I don't know if you ever watched something called iZombie. He's
No,
one of
no,
the
I
main
haven't.
guys in iZombie. Yeah, so yeah, he's good. I like him.
Do you know
All right.
what the worst thing for me though is? Looked up and half the adult cast are younger than me and my wife. That was
Yeah.
a real surprise. And I said, "Sorry, you're telling me the guy who plays Peter Quint is younger than me?" I said, "But he looks much older than me." And my wife said, "He doesn't."
Well, that's not very nice, is
No,
it?
it's not, is it? That's the
Not
real
very
horror.
nice. That's the real horror. There you go. There you go. All right, dude. Let's wrap that up. And yeah, I'm interested to see what you think when you finish it. Do you reckon
I'm
you'll be
probably
done
going to have it
by?
done by next week.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. And then we'll talk about that ending because that's the big talking point. Big talking point. So yeah, I'm very interested to see what you think about that. So
Awesome.
moving on, we normally fill this section with a trailer, really, that I throw at you. But this week we thought we'd do something different,
Hmm.
and we'd talk about a local film festival near us. So we've mentioned a couple of the big boys like Fright Fest, and one of the smaller festivals that we both love, and they've been a huge supporter of my films over the years, is the Unrestricted View Horror Film Festival. Now they do have the normal Unrestricted View Film Festival in the summer. This is the horror version that normally comes around late October, early November. Of course, because of the circumstances, they have moved online for this section. I will just say straight off the top that Black Mass is playing it on the Tuesday, but that is not why we're talking about this whatsoever. Just a bunch of really great guys that run it. So you've
Yeah.
got
When does it start?
So it
26th.
kicks off, yes, Monday. So it kicks off on Monday, the 26th, and then it runs to the 1st of November. And every day, I believe you have a feature and like a short block. I'm definitely going to try and tune in for a couple of these, a little bit like
Mm.
I'm doing with Fright Fest this week. I'm not sure how many I can get in, but I'm definitely going to try and get a couple in. And yeah, it's run by two great guys. So James Wren is the guy that started it and kind of oversees it. And then in the last couple of years, a guy called Tony Sands, who I worked with on Echoes of the Past, has taken over as the festival director. And yeah, since then, they've gone from strength to strength, and Tony's doing some really amazing stuff with the festival. And they pull in some really, really good films every year. It normally takes place at the Hen and Chickens in London. Lovely little venue.
Yes,
venue doesn't
yes.
crumble. But yeah, you take this one, dude, because what's your thoughts on it, and are you going to be checking anything out?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I need to. I'm probably going to be able to see more than I will be able to with Fright Fest. I'll have quite a bit more time. Um, I don't know James. I know Tony's a great guy, and I think it's really important to support these kind of smaller festivals. A lot going on, lots of short films, as you say. I think it is every day they've got a kind of selection of short films.
Yeah.
And I know you won't talk about it, so I will. But yeah, Black Mass showing. I would urge everyone to check that out. It's such a great film.
Oh,
My
thank you.
complete unbiased view. Your films, the ones that I've enjoyed the most are Black Mass, which you can see at the festival, and Echoes of the Past, which was written by Tony, who
Tony,
is,
yeah.
I don't know, creative director, festival director. I think
Yeah, he's
that's what
taken
he's
over
doing.
as the festival director in the last 2 years, I believe.
So yeah, I'll definitely be checking this out. I'm going to go through and try and watch at least one a day. We'll see how that goes. Life has a
Of course.
has a
Yeah,
habit of getting
of
in the
course.
way.
I believe, and I could be wrong on this, but I believe last time I checked, everything will be available on that day.
Yep.
So there's no set times. So
Interesting.
yeah, so if you buy a ticket for Tuesday, for example, there is a feature film called Bad Candy.
Yep.
And then there's the short block Little Terrors 2, which is opened by Black Mass. So if you just buy a ticket for Tuesday, at any time on Tuesday, during the hours of Tuesday, you can watch that feature or those shorts, and you can watch them however you want in whatever order you want. I don't think there's set times on, or there wasn't last time I looked. Maybe there is now, but I'm pretty
If
sure there's
that's
not. I'm pretty sure you just buy your ticket, and then on that day you can watch those, but you can only watch it on that day.
See, if that's correct, to me that is a real happy medium of taking advantage of what digital has to offer.
Yeah, agreed, mate. Agreed.
I really do think that just being able to watch a film digitally at a certain time and then done is not the way to go. I think this is a good, it
Yeah,
gives you a little bit of leeway.
yeah.
Obviously you can't have it indefinitely to watch when you like, but it just gives you that little bit of,
Well, especially
oh,
with short
oh
films.
shit, I'm stuck out somewhere.
Yes, yes.
I can
Especially with
get home
short
and I can
films.
watch it.
Because the thing with short films is, I feel like with features, there might be an opportunity to see them elsewhere.
Yes.
There might, and especially with these smaller festivals, right? With a lot of these smaller festivals, including the Black Sunday Film Festival, we share a lot of these films. To be honest, you have levels, don't you? And when you're one of the smaller festivals, everyone submits the same films, right? We all get the same films, and there's a lot of really really good smaller festivals out there. Like I said, you got Unrestricted View. Hopefully, you would include the Black Sunday Film Festival, and that there's the Soho Horror Film Festival, which is actually doing really good stuff. I'm probably going to shoot through the roof in the next couple of years. But
There's Horror on Sea,
Horror on
Southend.
Sea, yeah, and Southend. And then you've got the next tier, which I would say is the Romford Film Festival, the Birmingham Film Festival. Take place in big cinemas and stuff. And then you've got the massive boys like Fright Fest. But at the smaller level, a lot of these you do have the opportunity to see a lot of these films. But with shorts, there are so many shorts out there that. So with features, is what I'm saying is, if you miss features at one of these festivals, you probably got the opportunity to see another one.
Yeah.
With shorts, that might be the case, but it's also the case that there's a lot of good short films out there.
Yeah.
So, you might, it might be at one festival and then that's it. And especially with some of the politics of,
Yeah.
a lot of these smaller festivals don't really go with it with the whole premieres and everything like that. But, there's a lot of festivals that you'll get turned down purely because you've played that city before or whatever.
And the thing is as well, I mean, eventually, it's highly likely that the shorts will end up on YouTube if the creator has a YouTube channel. However, that could be a long time coming, especially if someone's doing the festival circuit and may be holding out indefinitely and think, oh well, I'll try this one, and You know what I
Well,
mean?
it depends what
They don't
comes
want to
out of
put
it.
it
I
up.
mean, this month I've just released a short of mine called Silent with Your Shadow on YouTube. And that was on the festival circuit 5 years ago. And the reason it took so long is we were on the festival circuit for 2 years. That's normally, if you get a decent run going, you're on the festival circuit for about 2 years. But then we got picked up for distribution on Amazon and Shorts TV. And the agreement was that we couldn't be available for free anywhere for 3 years. So that
Right.
was up this year. And I didn't want to renew those contracts. So I decided to put it up on YouTube because, to be honest, that's definitely the way to go. If any short filmmakers out there are
At
listening,
that point, you want to get it seen, don't you?
I wish I had done it sooner. I wish that when
Oh,
our festival,
really?
when our festival run was up a bit, because the problem with it sounds great, and that's why I done it. Right, it sounds really good. You can say that these people picked up your short film and stuff, but there's no money in it. It's not you make absolutely no money from it. You make pennies. So there's no financial incentive, but you're kind of pulled in by the big lights of like, oh, look where it's going to be and stuff. But the reality is, if something gets on a run on YouTube, because it's free to watch and free to share, many, many, many more people will watch it. And that's the point, right? Like, if no one's watching your films, what's the point? So, I wish I'd done it sooner, and I'm happy I've done it now. And, hopefully it will slowly pick up pace. And, we'll get a few people watching it. But, yeah, man, like you said, it can take a while for short films to get out there. So I definitely think these online festivals, having the shorts available whenever, it's a really, really great way of seeing a lot of good stuff. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to get time to check out a lot of these features at the Unrestricted Youth Festival, but I'm definitely going to try and sit
The
down
shorts.
every day for the shorts. Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
without a doubt. And I mean, there's a lot of shorts, like you said, like every day there's a shorts block. And I know some of the shorts that are play, and some of them
Is
are
it one that was
really
at
good.
Fright Fest playing? I
Yeah,
think it's the
one of
one
our
with
favorites.
the I can't remember what it was called now. The guy with the big eyes.
Yes, Guest.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
That's playing Little Terrors 1, which is opening day, so Monday 26th. You can check
Brilliant.
that out again, which I definitely will be doing because that was one of our favorites of Fright Fest. So
It was. Yeah.
without a doubt, I'll be watching that. But then there's a lot of other good shorts all lit for it. And from I don't think I've seen any of the features yet. Might have seen one or two actually. But all the features look great as well. So if you do have the time, I'll definitely check out the features too. There's normally a couple of gems in there at the very least. All right. So is there any picks from you, sir? Or you just going in basically every day to do the shorts like I'm gonna do?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Stuff, man. Good stuff. Well, yeah, guys, go and check it out. Unrestricted View Horror Film Festival kicks off on Monday the 26th. It runs to November the 1st. And if you use the code, and I will put this down below, UVHFF, so that stands for Unrestricted View Horror Film Festival 2050, you'll get 50% off any ticket you buy. So I will put that in the description below. And 50% off code. Go and get your ticket, either day ticket or festival pass for the whole thing. Watch what you want. It really helps the guys out. It really helps the venue out. And that's UVHFF 2050 for 50% off.
That's a no-brainer.
No brainer, right?
That's a good discount.
Absolute no brainer. Exactly, man. All right, buddy. So next bit of news I want to bring up is I thought this was a good thing to bring up because a question that you put out on Twitter the other day.
Yeah.
You said about streaming platforms, and you've got a million stream, but we've all got bloody millions of streaming platforms. And you were saying about kicking one out to take a subscription out to Shudder, and is it worth it? I mean, your question was between wrestling and horror, so something we're both into. And like I said, depends if you want to watch all the pay-per-views, but that that's another conversation. But in terms of Shudder, I could not praise Shudder enough. I could not tell you to go and get Shudder enough, or anyone listening to this, go and rent Shudder. It is dirt cheap. It's like a tenner a month, maybe not even that, and like if you like horror and all kinds of horror, right? If you like TV shows, if you like documentaries, classic horror, whatever it is, like they have, it is stacked. It is stacked with content. I can't recommend it
I've
enough.
just signed up. I
Right,
signed up the other day,
amazing.
and I'll tell you how much it is. It's every month the price of a posh coffee. It's £3.50.
It's ridiculous, right?
It's
It's
That's
ridiculous.
insanity.
I was down under a tenner. It's under a fiver.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
insane. That's insane. That's stupid, mate. Cheapest subscription service out there by far. And
I think that even pips Disney Plus, which was
oh, by
a
far.
damn good deal.
Oh, Disney Plus are a great deal, yeah. But yeah, it pips Disney Plus. And in terms of content, man, content is through the roof. And what I really love about Shudder is every month they just add more and more and more. And it, like I said, it's just such a stacked lineup already. They've just announced that in November they're adding a ton of new stuff, including Shudder Originals, a film called Lingering, and a Shudder exclusive called Porno, which I believe played Fright Fest last year. I didn't get to see it, unfortunately. There is a Shudder original documentary called Leap of Faith,
That
which
looks
is
great.
yes, which is on the making of The Exorcist. So we will definitely be checking that out. And then the reason I really wanted to bring this up, if I'm honest, because this completely ties into my other podcast, the Classic Horror one, is during November, they are adding a Mario Bava collection, which comprises of 8 of his best films from Black Sunday all the way to his last film, Shock. So if you haven't seen any Mario Bava films, or you're interested, you listen to the other podcasts and you're way to check them out, well, now's your opportunity. Less than a fiver a month. And actually, I believe for the first month, you can probably even get a free trial if you're going to sign
Yeah,
up for November.
you can. It's actually it's free for a week,
Right.
but
Right.
you can freely available. There are codes out there. Just look for them. You get
Yeah.
like a free month, I think.
But yeah, I can't recommend Shudder enough. So yeah, have you had a chance to check it out? Check Shudder out yet? Have
Do
you
you know, I
started?
haven't. But having a look at this, what's coming in November, it's such a eclectic mix of different things. I mean, they've got Salem's Lot coming
Yes,
on, and Urban Legend, which
I know.
is a pretty good film from the 90s. You know, there's quite a
Yeah,
few
it
different
really
ones
is.
in the
It
wake
really
of
is.
Scream.
Yeah, it
Do you know?
really is.
So Scream was obviously great, especially the original.
Yes.
But then there's two films that I really enjoyed in the wake. Actually, three, if you count this one. There was Ginger Snaps,
Oh, I
um,
love Ginger Snaps. Absolutely love Ginger Snaps.
Urban Legend, and actually not many people talk about this one, Cherry Falls, which
Oh
was
yeah,
pretty good as well.
it was a
I mean,
great film.
there was loads of '90s horror films that weren't great, but Urban Legend was one of the ones that I really enjoyed. So I'm pleased that that's there. And then they've also got this sounds really interesting to me. I know nothing about this, but they've got a film called Let the Corpses Tan.
Yeah,
Um, that just reading what that's about, I'm definitely going to check that out as well.
yeah, you have to. I mean, like I said, man, every month they're just dropping incredible films. And yeah, if you're a horror fan and you're interested, definitely check them out. It's yeah, it's well worth the what'd you say, £3.50 you've got it for?
I think I'll like £3.50.
Well,
That
it's
might have
under a
been
fiver,
like
right?
a discount for paying for it
It's
for a
under a
year
fiver.
subscription.
But yeah, definitely check it out. Go and get it. Go and get Shudder. And yeah, like I said, there's probably you get a week free, but I'm pretty sure there's longer free trials. But even if not, right, a week free, great. Definitely go and check it out. All right, my man. So wrapping up all of our reviews and news brings us on to the creepy link of the week, Chris. Once
Yes,
again, sir, what the hell did you send me?
it was pretty
How the
intense,
hell
isn't
did
it?
you find this?
um, so tell me what you thought of it first. Well, I'll tell you what it is. So this is, I assume this is her name, Betten Braut, a German artistic musician by the looks of it. Now, I don't know anything about her. But there is a reason why I use this particularly. And in the video, it's quite horrific. apparently this young woman's abducted and kept in a container, and you can imagine the kind of the things that happen. I mean, you don't see anything explicitly, but it's quite intense.
Yes.
I'll give the explanation in a minute, but what did you think?
Right. So there's two parts to this. There's the video, and then there's the music.
Yep.
And equally, they're both disturbing on their own.
Mm.
I found myself, I've got to go back and watch it because I found myself concentrating on just the video at certain points. I found
Yep.
myself getting lost in the music at certain points. Man, like, it's dark. Like, it's really, really dark.
Very dark.
I really enjoyed it. I thought there was really something unique and special about what they was doing. It very much reminded me of a very low budget, very raw version of Room, the Brie Larson film.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, just the video. There's no like high end production quality, right? It's
It
shot
literally
on.
looks like it's just her with a camera.
Right, yeah, exactly. Her with maybe her phone or something like that. But that kind of adds to it.
Mm.
It's really raw, man. It's really raw. It really, really sticks with you. But weirdly, we normally really concentrate on the video. I'm
Yeah.
going to concentrate a bit more on the music for this one.
Interesting.
The music really hits you. The music really gets under your skin, especially as the song develops and as it builds to the ending. It really, really gets under your skin, man.
I'm really pleased you said that.
Okay.
So this is a cover of one of my three favorite bands of all time. This is a cover of Rammstein, a
Right.
German metal band, and the song is called Puppe, which is German for puppet. Now, that's off their latest album, which came out last year, and I believe it was due to be their next video that they were going to make. But
Oh,
for obvious
interesting.
reasons, the video has not yet materialized, so it's not been released as a single yet, and
Yep.
there's hopefully it will come.
Right.
Now, so what I was looking for, okay, so what's their live performances like of that? Great, the music's great, but not really creepy on the stage. Very weird, but not
Yeah.
creepy.
Yeah.
Then I found a fan-made film which was highly produced, but for some reason didn't have the music with it, so it was complete silence, which is pointless.
Interesting. Okay.
And then I found another one that was quite good. It had the music and it had a fan-made film. However, the music was awful. It was a live rendition. It was just subpar.
Oh,
Couldn't
all over the
use it.
place. Yeah.
So just by complete chance, I just carried on searching. I thought there must be a good fan music video, and I found this. And the reason why it didn't come up straight away is because it's a cover. So
It's a
this
cover.
is her reinterpretation. And when I tell you what the lyrics are about, it's going to give it a whole new slant on it. So the lyrics, I believe, the lyrics are exactly the same as what they are in the Rammstein original.
Yep.
But her interpretation of it is completely different. So she's interpreted it as a woman abducted, and she's got some toy dolls in there, puppets, and she's breaking them. They're bleeding. There's what we assume is a baby in a basket,
Yep.
and something horrible seems to happen to it, which is quite interesting because in the live show when Rammstein do this song, there's a huge pram on stage that bursts into flames. Now, the actual Rammstein lyrics talk about it's all about a young child, like a younger brother or a younger sister,
Right.
who
Okay.
lives with their older sister,
Right.
and the older sister's a prostitute.
Right.
And every evening, the younger sibling is put to bed with a doll to kind of calm them and keep them out of the way. And the child hears what's going on and kind of uh, breaks the doll to try and feel better. The lyrics are: Ich reiß der Puppen den Kopf ab, ja, ich reiß der Puppe den Kopf ab, und jetzt reiß ich der Puppe den Hals ab. That means I rip the doll's head off. Yes, I rip the doll's head off, and now I bite the doll's neck off. And that's what the kid's doing to try
Well,
and
that's
feel
nice,
better.
isn't it?
It's very
Yeah.
nice. Okay? Then as the story goes on, there's a lyric that says, wenn Schwesterlein der Arbeit front, das Licht im Fenster rot, which means when my sister is working, the light in the window is red. And here's the bit where everything changes. Till and now her says, Ich sehe zu der Schlüsselloch und einer schlug sie tot, which means I look through the keyhole and someone has struck her dead. So the lyrics then
Okay.
changed. It goes back into I ripped the doll's head off and all of that. However, the lyric changes. So before it was I'm not feeling good. No. After the sisters died, the destruction of the puppet changes to I'm doing very well. Yes. Now, the interpretation there is either the sisters died, so the younger sibling no longer has to deal with that part of their life, or the younger sibling has seen the murder and the puppet is the man and they've got retribution by killing the man and now they feel good.
Oh.
So she's taken those lyrics and the imagery of that and kind of turned it into, you know, a kind of a kidnapping kind of case,
Yeah. Yeah.
and transposed it there. And then lyrically, when you hear the Rammstein version, it's it's Till the singer's got a very deep baritone voice with
Of course. Yeah.
very little emotion. But in this track, he really on that chorus, you can hear him almost in tears when he's singing it. It's like a real anguished agony. So despite what she's done to it, it's a very very emotive and powerful song. But then
Wow.
her one just adds this whole new level of creepiness to it. Her kind of very childlike, sweet voice juxtaposed with that imagery is pretty disturbing.
Yeah, it's pretty out there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's pretty out there. Man, it works, though.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I did. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it from, like I said, from the video point of view. I thought she done something really, really interesting.
Yes.
But the song, man, the song just like really, really sticks with you. It really.
Yes.
I've definitely got to go and listen to the original now. Try and
Listen,
find
see,
the original.
I'll send you a link.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
all over the
Awesome.
place on YouTube.
Yeah, I bet.
And actually, I'll get you a link that's got the English translation.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
it would be German lyrics and then English translation.
Yes, of course. Wow, dude! Once again, you've outdone yourself. I think.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think people are going to get a real kick out of this one this week. That's one that really, really stays with you.
I've
Musically, man. Gets
got
under
to
your skin.
look into some more of her stuff as well because she's got a few videos on there.
Oh,
like music videos.
yeah, exactly. Because like when the video ends, it pops up with the album, I think it is, or like the
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. As soon as I saw that, I was like, right, I've got to go and check out what else she's doing because, yeah, that really, really worked for me. So yeah, I really want to see what else she's doing. But yeah, dude, once again, outdone yourself.
Thank you very much.
Hats off. And yeah, I think before we wrap this up, I'm just going to touch on one little thing because some news dropped this week, which is really bloody exciting for me and you. And it is that by the end of the year, we're going to have a new Ghost album. So get ready, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going to be doing an episode where we dive deep on Ghost and we eventually review the album whenever he decides to bloody drop.
Oh my. It's not appropriate to say God. I'm going to have to say, oh my Satan.
There you go.
You know, if you like a bit of pop Satanism, then man, what a band! I can't wait. I'm so
just
excited.
Out of nowhere as well. Just out of nowhere. Like, yeah, I mean, it's coming.
We knew he was working on an album this year.
We knew he was working on an album.
Didn't think it was going to come this year.
No, I didn't think it would be finished, especially because of what's been going on in the world. But
gee, I'm so excited.
Oh, dude, can't wait. That's coming. We're going to be doing it. Get ready. It's happening. Yeah, dude, I think we'll round it up there. Thank you so much for joining me again, sir, and taking a little break from Fright Fest. I will be jumping back in myself now. I think I've got 2 more films today. And yeah, we'll be doing probably a next episode is going to be a review of everything Fright Fest. So get ready for that because there's some very good films playing. And yeah, even more excited about some of the ones that are coming up this weekend. So yeah, really good. Looking forward to next week. And until next week, stay safe, horror hounds.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.